Welcome in, folks. NFL is back. Week 1 is behind us, and boy, oh boy, what a week 1 it was. Sunday Night Football, Kyle, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that Sunday Night Football game?
That was a phenomenal game. I think one of those teams will be in the Super Bowl this year.
I hope so. And whoever makes the schedule for the NFL, I hope he got a bonus with that game going over 80 points because, man, that was well done by the scheduler having that matchup.
That game
Kyle,
was
why don't
so
you?
fun to watch.
Oh my God, we'll break that down today. Kyle, why don't you hit us with the overview and we'll get things going.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit of news here quick, recap some major games, breakouts and busts for fantasy, waiver wire, must add stash, and then we're gonna hit top 10 RBs and divas after week 1. A little bit of news. Jalen Carter did get a fine. $57,000 for a little spit fine for Carter over there. Packers rewarding Christian Watson with a 1 year, $13 million contract extension. Why,
Dude
Adam?
doesn't even
Why
play.
are they
What
doing
is going?
this?
I don't even believe that. Is that a real article? Yeah, the dude doesn't even play.
That's what I'm hearing.
All right, we'll look
Um,
into that.
Judkins is expected to practice and potentially play this week. He signed. George Kittle placed on IR, missing the first 4 weeks of the season.
That's a tough one.
Jennings also got something going on over there. And how long does the Dolphins head coach last this season, Adam?
I would have liked to see him fired that night. I am sorry, but McDaniel's tenure is going to be over very quickly. That was one of the worst performances I have seen in a week 1 team, maybe ever. I mean, they did not look like they want to play football. It was disgusting. Get that guy out of there. I'm sorry. I used to love him, but that time has passed. Let's get him out.
Yep. Yep. They made the Colts look really good. Made Daniel Jones look really good.
Made Daniel Jones look like Tom Brady out there.
Okay, how much are you panicking or ecstatic with week 1 in fantasy?
Fantasy?
Yep.
Oh, I'm pretty ecstatic. I mean, as you saw on Big Tuna, the leading score produced. No one
Mm,
was even
mm,
remotely close. So I'm doing pretty
mm,
well. In all my other leagues, we're looking pretty good. A lot of dubs this week.
That was a
Vibes are
big
high, but it's only week 1.
big Josh Allen influence there.
Yeah, 40 points from him never hurts.
Right? I did sneak one out in Dynasty, so I at least got a win there this week.
There you go.
All right. You want to recap some of these major games here? The
Yeah, I mean,
Packers,
let's
wow.
just.
The Packers, wow. That is the best they've looked in a very long time all around. Is that
Yeah, they
just
did.
one game or what is that?
Yeah, I mean, my God, they manhandled the Detroit Lions, which I didn't even know was possible, minus when the Commanders did it a little bit last year in the playoffs. But I have never seen them look this good against this strong of an opponent. It's not like they played some scrubs. They played a Dan Campbell Detroit Lions team, and they manhandled them completely and utterly, to be honest with you. Jordan Love looked phenomenal, did what he needed to do, being 16 for 22. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries, only 66 yards and a tutty. I mean, it was just fun to see. But most importantly, I think the highlight of that game was the defensive line and the pressure that they put on Jared Goff, so that he was nervous and scared out there. He had to throw it to the running back over 15 times. I mean, that is when you
Mhm.
know something ain't going well when your quarterback's throwing the running back 15 times.
Yep. The biggest takeaway I had too was the Lions' inability to run the ball. Like that
Yeah.
has been their strength, and I didn't expect Green Bay to have as good of a run defense right out of the gate. So I was very surprised to see that.
Yep.
And then obviously Montgomery and Gibbs owners, me being one of them, was you're very disappointed with those performances. So
Yeah.
we'll touch on that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we can touch on the carries right now.
All
Or you
right.
want me to go on?
Yeah, I mean Montgomery outtouched Gibbs for rushing.
What was it,
Um,
11-9?
for someone being drafted in first round, that's a pretty big deal, I think. Of course, he's still got more receiving work, but Montgomery
Yeah.
still got a few balls too. So that
Yeah.
was a
He did
big
have
that
four
was a big
catches.
takeaway for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it was. I can't believe Gibbs didn't get more than 10 carries. That's a problem. If he ain't getting more than 10 carries a game, that is a problem. He needs to be getting 15 to 20. So we'll see if they fix that or if it was just because they were getting their butts handed to them or what. But the other fun game, that Sunday night game, what an electric performance by both teams. I thought there was no way in heck that the Bills were coming back on that one.
I didn't
The
think
way
so
the
either.
the
That
way
was
the Ravens were
shocking.
running the ball, I was like, they will not stop this, and the game is over. They're just going to keep running the ball, and they can't stop it.
It
And the
was the
only
D.
thing they
Henry
need,
fumble.
It was a turnover. It was absolutely
Mhm.
that turnover. That was what they needed. And wow, just Josh Allen
Mhm.
put a Superman cape on that guy. What he does, just it's unbelievable. That was just such a fun game. Putting up 80 points, just that's too much fun.
80 points
Derrick
is crazy. But
Derrick
that's
Henry,
why those were the top two quarterbacks on, fantasy boards right there.
100%.
Amazing performances just like that.
Yeah, those are game breakers. Lamar almost having 30, Josh almost having 40. That's a game breaker material, and that's why they can go off the board so early. But very
Mhm.
happy if you had one of those this weekend. I mean, it blows my mind that Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 169 yards, and they still lost. Like, are you kidding me? Normally, when you see those types of rushing stats, it is always going to
Yep.
be in favor of that bell cow who just crushed it.
Yep. Yep. All right. And one more thing on the Lions. Is it already time to panic over there with those coaches and the coordinators? Do they make that much of a difference? Week
Yeah,
one was an interesting, component there because they did not look good like all the way around, in my opinion.
no, it was bad. It was a bad performance.
Um, okay. Anything else on the teams or games you want to mention?
No, I like that. A lot of fun, close games out there. Let's get into some of the action here.
Okay. First I got Divas. A lot of big name Divas stunk it up week one.
Hmm.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Amon Ra. There's a lot. Nico Collins. There's so many that had very poor performances. I'm just gonna read you the list right now of the top 10 receivers after week one, PPR format here. Zay Flowers, number one after week one. You were low on him. You said you hated any receiver in Baltimore.
Yeah, I
Wow,
stand by that. I stand by that. That's a one-off type of game. It's a one-off
Zay
crazy 40
Flowers.
point performance. Good for him.
Congrats, buddy. Great game. Keon Coleman, someone who I was very high on off season, who I wish I had more shares of, had a number two. I'm just going to rattle the next ones off here and then we can chat them up. Cooge finished as wide receiver three. Quentin Johnson, Amiko Buka, Puka Nakua, Debo Samuel, Garrett
It's a fun
Wilson, Michael
combination.
Pittman Jr., Hollywood, and Keenan Allen.
Hollywood. I'm glad
Uh,
Hollywood made the list, especially
are,
after we
are
said
you are
no
you
on
in
him.
on Hollywood? I'm in on Hollywood now.
Back in, baby.
We're in
Back
on
in with
Hollywood.
Worthy being. Oh, Hollywood
Yeah,
is in without a
yeah.
doubt.
I mean, I think Worthy obviously went down really early in that game. I think most of that would have all gone to him, honestly, or the majority of those targets would have gone to his way, I think. I didn't think Hollywood
Yeah.
had that big of a game script planned for him, but now I think he might.
Yeah. Out of those receivers, Kyle, out of those top 10, who is the biggest surprise for you to be up there?
I think I mean it's got to be either Huge or Hollywood or Keenan, I think. I'd say Huge or Hollywood are the biggest surprises, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a huge. That was a big surprise for me. But then again, that was an electric passing performance from them and them Chargers.
Yeah. Does it, I mean, for me, he is one of, if especially if you're not as deep or shaky at wide receiver, he's a better waiver wire pickup, I think, this week. Those two guys, Huge and Hollywood, they're going to be
Yeah.
free agents in most leagues.
Oh, yeah.
Those would be two targeted pickups for me if you're looking to stack at wide receiver.
Yeah, Hollywood
Um,
now especially because now he might be the number one guy for a few weeks.
yeah, but
He went
it
from
will
one
only
to
be,
two to number.
yeah. Pending on Worthy's injury and how long he's out, and then when Rasheed Rice comes back in 6 weeks, I see his
Yeah,
value, back to being
for sure,
tough for anything there. So,
for
but
sure.
for
Good
now,
flex play though.
if you want to blow some budget, or if you want to take a waiver on him for the first few weeks, I could see that happening. I'm actually probably
Hmm.
not going to in most of my leagues, so
Fair
I'm
enough.
confident with the guys I got.
All right.
Okay. Any other out of those top 10 you want to talk about? I think Abuka, 2 touchdowns. That was cool to watch. I've been a high on him for his value this offseason. Puka Nakua, I believe he also did he have an injury? I don't see one here currently, but I
He
thought he
was
had an
out for
injury.
like at least a quarter of the game. Yeah, his head was bleeding. He got hit pretty hard. His head was bleeding.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yep.
Still 10 catches, 130 yards, no
They got him back
touchdowns.
out there.
The touchdowns have always been kind of his downfall.
Yep. No,
Um,
I don't have much to comment on them, but I do have some of the divas that stunk it up to comment on, specifically AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and how I've highlighted time and time again how Eagles wide receivers are not the best thing in fantasy to chase because they do not need to utilize them, and that showcased us early and often this year within week one. AJ Brown would get targeted to the end of the fourth quarter, just
That
about.
was weird. I'm expecting a big
So
bounce back from him.
I don't know if him and Jalen need to sit down over dinner and hash something out here or what's going on, but not even have a target, that is a problem. That is just a
They need to
problem.
bunk up. They need to
You don't
bunk
pay,
up, play some Madden together, and just hang out. You know what I mean?
yeah, you don't pay a Diva one money and then give him a target late in the fourth quarter. That doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I'm not surprised by that, and I'm going to echo that all season long as they AJ Brown, Devontae Smith go quiet.
Sounds good. All right. Some guys outside the top 10, I think Cortland Sutton still had a pretty good game.
Yep.
He was somebody I was calling for, one of the only ones that I called for a juicy matchup to actually perform well. 60 yards, 6 grabs, and a touchdowns, 18 fantasy points PPR. Um, and then we talked about Abuka, Hollywood. Any other of these receivers you want to bring up outside the top 10 here?
No, I mean, how fun was Ibuka? Everyone, the hype on him was real, and I've never seen the hype come that fast for a rookie wide receiver like that, where he just absolutely went off in week one. That's fun to see.
Yeah. Okay. RBs, CMC. Well, we saw it. It was a little more shared backfield than I think we all thought we would see week one. We did see a little bit of Brian Robinson out there. I saw number 3 on the field, but from a PPR standpoint, I mean, I have CMC in a PPR league, and I was happy with what he put up. 22 carries, 69 yards, only averaged 3.1 yards a carry, 9 grabs, 70 receiving yards though. So put him at 23 fantasy points.
Yep,
Any
it's
comments on
crazy
that
volume. I mean,
CMC
that's just
week
crazy
one?
volume, and that's why you love CMC because even if the other
Yeah.
guys are getting their touches, when you're still getting over 30 touches between rushes and receptions, I mean, that's why he used CMC. And that production will come, I think, especially as their weapons come back as the year goes. That production will definitely come.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we saw is, I think honestly, a lot of what we're going to see this season from him in this one, I think he's going to get the majority of the work. I think they're going to sprinkle in Brian Robbins, some other guys, some check. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Kittle out for 4 weeks. I think they just picked up a receiver from New England as well.
Born,
Yep, Bourne.
born. He was with
So
them many years ago, like 7 or 8 years ago. He was with them, I think.
I still like CMC for this similar production. I mean, I hope he is more effective with his touches going forward, is how I would like to look at this. Like the
Yeah.
3.1 yards of carry's got to go up, and then he just finds some touchdowns, right? And then I think
Yeah.
you're happy with him for the most part.
Hmm.
Even if he isn't number one on the year for running back, he'll be in the mix if he can produce. Harvey, I thought Harvey looked good in the limited action he had. Obviously, it was mostly one big breakaway and then not a lot, right? 6 carries, 70 yards was it. So I don't know if you want to touch on Dobbins. I saw he fell into the end zone. I don't know how productive he was.
Yeah, I mean, I like how you got to know up here about Harvey and nothing about my boy Dobbins, but I see how
Mm-hmm.
it is. I get it. I get it.
Yep.
No, I mean, Harvey did look good. He had one run that went for like 50 yards,
Yeah.
so that boosted up his average on that. What I'd like to highlight is Dobbins got a large majority and bulk of the volume of carries,
Yeah.
so I'm absolutely thrilled to see that. I was thrilled about that. You say good?
Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts.
It's going to last all dang year. He had
It
16 rushes for 63 yards and a tutty.
Yeah, it looks like
So
it's his show, and get or Harvey right now is going to be the change of pace guy, come in guy, reliever.
yeah.
But I still see it at least balancing out toward the middle of the year, and I just think Harvey's going to be more productive.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll closely monitor this situation every week, that's for sure. But
Okay.
what a disgusting performance about Ken Walker. 2 yards a carry? Are you kidding me? This is a contract year for you, Kenny boy. That is not going
Mm,
to get you paid. That is going to
mm,
get you swept under the rug and never seen an
mm,
NFL season again if this is the type of production that you put out here. Sharp, on the other hand, looked a lot better. He had 12 carries for
mm,
47
mm,
yards,
mm.
3.9 per carry, and he did fall into the end zone, which obviously helps. This is going to be an interesting one because last year when Ken Walker was healthy, it was all Ken Walker. In week one, it did not look that way.
Mm. Yeah, this is more of exactly what I was preaching when we broke down Seattle. I thought it'd be closer
Mm-hmm.
to a 50-50. Kenny Walker had 10 touches, Charbonnet had 12, so it's actually slightly favored Charbonnet. Charbonnet had the red zone work, and Charbonnet had a better yards per average. So like all around, Charbonnet is the better back on paper here.
Yeah, for week one, absolutely. Without a
For week
doubt. And I
one,
think
for
that's
week one.
with the guy who's getting more, yards per carry. I think riding the hot hand's always going to make sense. If that flips next week, we'll see. Maybe the
I mean,
offensive line just like Sharp better. Maybe they're like, piss on Ken Walker.
yeah, I see it going forward as they're going to still try and keep it close to 50-50, but I do think
Yeah.
Charbonnet still gets the red zone work. So I think he's just a more valuable option in this backfield right now.
Yeah. Yep. Anything else on the Seattle boys?
No, have to see how it plays out. Obviously, Ken Walker's still got a bigger home run hit ability, but it just looks like Charbonnet is going to just beat him out right now a little bit at a time here with the work, in my opinion.
Yep.
ETN returns to form. This was a big surprise, I think. 16 carries, 143 yards, average 8.9 a carry, three catches, 13 yards. Classic ETN, though, no touchdowns. He did have a great performance, though, so I got to give hats off, and he got most of the work and looked good.
Yeah. And what Bigsby only had, 5 carries, I think it was.
And
So,
they just traded away one of those guys. Was it Bigsby?
oh, you're right. I think he went to
I
what,
think one of them just
Philly?
went to Philadelphia, like
Yeah.
just
Yep. Yep.
recently.
Yep. That did happen. So yeah,
Okay,
maybe that's more belief in ETN and the rookie.
I think it is.
Someone got
He'll go down next week.
yeah. Whoever's got him got good. All right. I won't say any more. Then we'll cap it at that.
We'll cap it at that. If you drafted him right now, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. That's probably all you're going to say.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he keeps this up for a couple more weeks, to me, he could be a good candidate to try and sell high if you find the right fit. Brees Hall also returned to form a bit. 19 carries, just over 100 yards, average 5.6 yards a carry, two catches, another 38 yards. I mean, the Jets just in general, and this is just a running game that, with the quarterback included, it works.
Yeah. It's a powerful running offense. I like Braylon Allen as well. He's the one that snuck in there, but Brees Hall looks like a good value in most drafts right now.
Yes,
A
exactly.
very good value. Um.
Okay, I'll break down the
Oh.
top 10 running backs and then we'll move
Okay.
on. So after
Okay.
week one, of course, you got the big boy, Derrick Henry. Wish I had more shares of him.
Of
Um,
course.
Bijan number two, Christian McCaffrey number three, James Cook number four. James Cook still got it, man. He still got it. All the haters out there. Javante Williams, a surprise candidate for me here. Running back five after week one. ETN at six, Saquon at seven, Chuba eight, Dylan Sampson sneaks in. Interesting. We didn't talk much about him. I still don't know what to make of the Browns backfield now that Judkins is going to
It's
be
gonna
there.
get only It's gonna get only hairier out when Judkins comes back.
I think it'll be Judkins will be most of first and second down, and I think Sampson will probably be Sampson and Ford, change of pace, and the receiving backs is kind of how I see that.
Yep.
Anything you want to say about these guys?
No, who are you most surprised with? Samson?
Javante Williams, that he finished top five, and then I would say Sampson, yes, after that.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna diverge for a second. I'm good on the RBs. How fun was it to see Aaron Rodgers get his revenge against a Jets organization that did not want any piece of him? That was awesome to see, and he was not quiet about it after the game as well. He was they specifically asked him about it, and he was like, "Oh, it felt so good to beat every single person within that organization." He's like, especially after they didn't want me anymore and thought I was washed. That's basically what he said. He went right to it. So that was awesome to see. 4 tutties. I mean, I think he led. I think he led throwing
He was
touchdowns.
22 for 30, 73% completion, 244 yards, four touchdowns.
Man, the Steelers have signs of life. They've always had a great defense, never had a good quarterback since Big Ben being gone. Is this the year where they make some waves? That'll be very interesting to kind of keep tallies on. Someone else I was kind of impressed with this week, I was Debo, your boy on your bench, 10 targets and a rush. And he had, I think, 7 catches, 70 yards, and a rushing touchdown. He looked good. He got more targets and more catches than Scary Terry, which I think is, Scary Terry just getting back into the flow of football since he's been couching it.
Yeah,
But,
you remember when I said I was going to play him this week over Georgie P? And you're like, why would you do that? And I
yeah,
didn't
well,
do it.
why would you ask someone who's been recently hurt by a player if they should start that player? My answer is always going to be no. Like, that guy burned me all last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a tough play for me now in the flex against Green Bay, but I'm considering
Yeah,
it. Green Bay's defense looks so good.
yeah, no, that was very impressive. Some waiver wire watches. We've already mentioned a few of these, but Keenan Allen, 10 targets, 7 catches, and he's got that relationship with Herbie. I think that's a good pickup, a good safe pickup. A high floor, low ceiling type of pickup in Keenan Allen. Juwan Jennings, since Kittle out, he has some value. I think he also has some injuries going on. Sampson, who we mentioned, Cleveland's running back up. I think in PPR leagues especially, you pick him up. If you're in a standard, probably not going to matter as much once Judkins returns. Huge. You could absolutely pick up Huge. However, I saw that Allen got more targets and more catches than Huge. So even though Huge put up those 2 tutties, I'm still more of a fan of Keenan Allen than I will ever be of Huge.
Yeah, and if you're one quarterback league and you're thinking about taking a backup here, I mean, Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers are interesting if you wanted to stash one right now.
Yep.
Daniel Jones also does have a little bit of rush upside, which is
He does. Oh, absolutely.
weird to say, but he does. So
It used to be his only upside when you drafted him.
yeah, I mean, if you think he plays Denver this week, so I would definitely project a harder week for him this week. But and maybe that if he's still available, maybe he's somebody depending on how deep your bench is and if you want to stash somebody. Tight ends. You got any tight ends this week?
The 49ers backup for a temporary tight end play just because they're so down on weapons right now. What is that? Tyler? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, I mean, in Big Tuna, there's a few available as well. Noah Fant is interesting to me. Kyle Pitts, interesting to me. Zach Ertz, if he's available, interesting to me. And then Brenton Strange also is interesting. I guess those guys would be people I'd be looking at if I was a Kittle owner.
Yeah, I mean
Juwan Johnson at the
Hunter
Saints
Henry out there.
as well.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry, I don't hate him in that offense. He had quite a bit of targets.
Yeah, those are the top ones that I see in our 2 quarterback standard scoring available here.
Yeah.
But any of those names could be good fill-in for a few weeks while Kittle returns. What else you got over there?
Week 2, because I just want to touch on week 2 quick. Can you handle that?
Yeah, go ahead, touch on it.
I'm just noticing the sentiment of how happy you were with your championship rings as opposed to how unhappy you are after a week 1 loss.
Because I had one of those in my hand.
It's quite the difference. Oh, that does help. You are covering that nicely. You're covering the best part.
I didn't even mean to. That's just how it happened.
Week 2, a lot of close games expected this week. In terms of all of the matchups in week 2, all of them have a 6-point spread or less, meaning Vegas expects all the games to be 6 points or closer, -1, which is Ravens against the Browns, which is an 11.5 spread. So they're expecting the Ravens to absolutely demolish the Browns. If you got pick'em leagues, folks, if you got to do your NFL pick'em, your safest pick this week would be the Ravens versus Browns. However, if you don't want to use the Ravens this early, I totally get that. But we're going to have some doozies, some close matchups. I'm real excited for that Packers Commandos Thursday night game. Hopefully Amazon does us right and starts us off with a good one.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that game. That's all I can think about right now moving forward. All roster decisions will need to be made, I think, after that game. But I think this is going to be a huge test for Green Bay. Obviously, they came out, whooped up on the Lions, looked like a phenomenal team, one of the best, if not the best in the NFC, up there with the Eagles probably. And Washington, I think, is also a top team in the NFC. So how much of it was the Lions and how much of it was the Packers, I think we're going to find out. And it's a short week. So that's interesting on a short week playing on Thursday. We'll see how they hit this one.
Yep, absolutely. I'm ready for it. Week 2 is coming, 2 days away. It's been a beautiful week 1 with y'all. If you got any comments or waiver wire ads you'd like to throw in, let us know. Kyle, you got anything else for us?
No, we'll hit you guys with the game plan before the Sunday games, and we will catch you in the next one.